welcome back to another video. Today's video is just a quick air fryer video. I am an air fryer newbie. I just got this little 2-quart air fryer and I thought it'd be fun to try out some new recipes. I looked on Pinterest for some ideas and I thought I'd try them out and film them, maybe give you guys some ideas. Y'all can give me any tips that you have in the comments. I am a newbie and I'm just trying these out for my family. Some are savory, some are sweet. I'll be trying a whole bunch of different things, but these are just a few that I found and thought I'd give a try. So I thought I'd do a little video and let you know what we thought, if it's something that we would make again, or if it's something that we'll have to just pass on. So the first thing that I wanted to make was these little air fryer pizzas. So you just take these Grands biscuits and you need to get the flaky layers because the layers make it really easy to separate them to make your little pizza dough. So this about made me have a heart attack when that popped out on me, but it all worked out in the end. But I separated them and I just put them on a piece of foil just to kind of like have a workspace, and I smushed them down to make them flatter so you don't need to take a whole biscuit to make one pizza. So these pizzas were, like I said, I'm an air fryer newbie, so I wasn't sure how an air fryer worked, but after playing around with it, I realized that the top kind of gets done faster than the bottom, so you need to be able to flip things over. So a little pizza isn't necessarily the best idea, just because the top wants to get brown and then the bottom or the inside isn't necessarily done, but it worked out and I'll show you what I did in a second. But I just went ahead and put the sauce and cheese and pepperoni on them. I made a few with like ground beef because that's my favorite, and I started out by just putting them in the air fryer and I cooked them for at 350 for maybe less than 10 minutes, and it was kind of nice and convenient and fun. This is a great like after school snack or lunch, easy lunch. And I did spray the inside of my air fryer with an olive oil spray, but I have since learned that's probably not the best idea, and I don't really need to. It's pretty non-stick, so I don't really need to add any oil. But you can see this is how they came out, and they look delicious, but the inside wasn't completely done. So then I thought, what if I just like took them and folded them in half and made them into like little pizza pockets? So that's what I did with the rest of them, and they actually turned out fine, but I did flip them halfway through to make sure that both sides got done. And then when I was finished, I took some butter, melted it in the microwave, and then just brushed it on top, because sometimes these like canned biscuits can be kind of dry and not very good. So I just thought putting some butter on it might, give them some more flavor. You could put Parmesan cheese or sprinkle some salt or whatever. And we just had these with the salad, and they were okay, maybe like a 6 out of 10. I don't know if I'll do them again for a meal, maybe just for a quick snack, but they weren't terrible. And the next thing I wanted to make was these sausages wrapped in crescent rolls, because you can buy these in the store, like the Nathan's brand, I think, and they're really expensive. So I thought I would try making them in the air fryer. So I just took these Hillshire Farms sausages. They're my husband's favorite. So you want to, whatever you use, hot dogs or sausages, you just want to make sure that they're kind of dry, because if they're wet at all, if they have juices on them, they're going to make the croissant rolls or the crescent rolls kind of soggy, and you don't want that. So I just dried them off with a paper towel, and then it came with 6 and the crescent roll pack came with 8. So I just used 6 of them, and then the other extra ones I just tossed in the air fryer and made little crescent rolls, and they were so good. So I started by trying to do this, like they make it look so easy and fancy, and the reality is it's just not that way. So I just took them and wrapped them the best that I could and made sure that each sausage was wrapped up, and I kind of smushed it down a little bit to make sure that it fit as best as it could. And then I just popped them in the air fryer and did them like that. They didn't have to look fancy. It didn't affect the taste at all. So most of these recipes I kind of did the same thing, cooked them between 350 and 400, between 10 to 15 minutes. These I put in and switched them around halfway through just to make sure that both sides were nice and brown, and they turned out really good. I didn't actually eat these because I don't like sausage like that, but Marion and Jackson ate them and they said that they were good. So I think I'll definitely try these again, just an easy, quick, when I don't want to have to do too much prep. This is a quick, easy meal. And I did also brush the tops of these with butter just to give them a little bit more flavor, and also because, you know, that dough does sometimes tend to be kind of dry. So tonight I made chicken taquitos, and these were my favorite thing I made in the air fryer. I love chicken taquitos, or flautas, whatever you want to call them. So I just had browned some chicken and cut it up and added some salsa to it, and I grated up some pepper jack cheese, and then I used my little tortilla warmer. You just add corn tortillas with a wet paper towel and put this in the microwave, and then they're soft and easy to work with. Otherwise they will just crack and split and you'll be driving yourself crazy. So I just layered them with the chicken salsa and some cheese and rolled them up. And you do have to be careful because corn tortillas are kind of finicky, and some of them did crack a little bit, but once you get them in the air fryer and they start to get crunchy, then they'll pretty much hold their shape. And I did spray some of the olive oil spray on top of each of these, and that helped them to brown. And they're not the prettiest, but these were really good, and I've always made these deep fried, so it was really nice to not have to make them with all the mess and the grease and everything. But they were literally just as delicious as if I had deep fried them. So I was just showing you what it looks like. I dipped them in salsa. They were so good. I'll definitely do those again. This is a little just super quick recipe. I thought it would be fun to try and make some sopapillas, and I used my Cinnamon Toast Crunch Cinnadust. I almost didn't add this in here because it wasn't that great, but I thought I'd just add it in and show you. So I put the tortilla in, and then I realized that it was kind of just flying around inside the air fryer. Didn't do a whole lot. So then I just decided to butter both sides of the tortilla and then put it in, and it kind of made it puff up a little bit, and definitely was tastier this way. And then when it came out, I added some more butter just so that the Cinnadust would stick to it. That stuff, you kind of have to add a lot to make it flavorful. So cinnamon sugar probably would have been better, just straight up cinnamon sugar. But it was okay. I might do it again if I wanted something really quick and sweet. And this night I made some little steak bites, air fryer steak bites. I am not a steak eater, so I don't really know how to prepare a steak, but I thought I couldn't really mess this up. So I bought this sirloin steak at Sam's, and I just froze it and then defrosted it this day. I don't know why it's that color, but it smelled good and it tasted good. It was fine. It was not bad, but it did kind of turn brown as it was defrosting. But I went ahead and cubed it up. You want to kind of have uniform pieces, around an inch cubed basically, just so that they all cook evenly. I just cut these up, and then I put like a little bit of a marinade on them, but there's like so many things that you can marinate steak with, and probably you guys know more than I do because, like I said, I don't make steak, I don't eat steak, but I just found a quick recipe. I used olive oil, salt, and pepper. They said to use rosemary, but I just used thyme because I didn't have any rosemary. And then I added a little bit of Worcestershire sauce at the end, and just let that marinate in the refrigerator for about a half an hour to an hour. But obviously you could add like brown sugar, soy sauce, give it like a caramelization, would be even better. So I might try, some different variations next time. But I just mixed it all together and put some plastic wrap on it and set that in the refrigerator for, like I said, 30 minutes to an hour, I think is about what I did. And then for this recipe, you do want to preheat your air fryer for 3 to 5 minutes before you add your meat. In most of these recipes, I did not preheat it, but this time I did. And then I just started out by adding the meat, thinking I had to just keep it spread apart and like flip each one. And I quickly realized that was insane. Like I just needed to pop it in, pull it out halfway through, give it a good shake, and put it back in. So at first I was doing this, and I pulled it out and tried to flip each one, and I think I did it for like 5 minutes, and then pulled it out and flipped them over, and then I didn't do that the next several times. The only thing I'll say about this air fryer, I really wanted a small one, and it's great for just like simple quick things, but it does mean when I'm making like bigger meals, I have to do it in, a little bit at a time. So that's the only negative, I guess, but I am really enjoying my air fryer. And this was so good. These steak bites smelled so good. I was vlogging this day, so you'll get to see a little behind the scenes if you come back and watch that video. But once I had some of the meat cooking, I was still cooking some of it, but I went ahead and melted some butter and added some garlic and just mixed it together, and then I poured that on top, and as the meat came out of the air fryer, I just added it to the bowl and just kind of gave it, a butter garlic sauce on top. And it was really good. It wasn't like as flavorful as you would think. I didn't think, but it was good. It was tender. There was hardly any fat on it. Cooked perfectly and super easy. And I don't make steaks, so this was really fun to find an easy, quick way to make it. I just paired it with some rice and some green beans. It was a delicious meal that night. And then I had to make another dessert. So I just got this apple pie filling with no sugar added, but of course you could use any kind of pie filling that you like. And then I got these rolled ready to use pie crusts from Walmart, Great Value brand. Both of these were Great Value brand. And I just kind of laid it out and smushed it down just to make sure there wasn't any holes or anything. And then I took a cup, and the cup that I used, I got 7 perfect little circles out of 1 pie crust, and each of these boxes does come with 2 pie crusts. This night I only used 1, so I can use the other one next time. But I just cut out some little circles, and then I did take the scraps and roll them kind of out by hand, and I was able to make 3 more. So the 1 pie crust actually made 10 little pies, hand pies, I don't know what you want to call them. But I laid them out, and then I took the pie filling, and since they were kind of big pieces of the apple, I wanted to just chop them up a little bit so that they wouldn't be so huge and pop out, and But you could use peach or blueberry or cherry or whatever kind of pie filling you like. And I just filled them, and then you don't want to put too much. I did put a little too much. You'll see when I fold them, but you live and learn. I learned as I went, and I'll definitely make these again though, because they were super easy. And then I like cinnamon, so I added a good bit of cinnamon into each one. And then I cracked an egg and used that to seal the edges of each of the little pies. And then I also give it a little egg wash on top, and that helps it to brown perfectly on the top. It gives it a crunch, and it was so good. Don't forget the egg wash if you do this. And then I just folded them over as best I could. Some of the filling oozed out on the side, but it wasn't a big deal. It was totally fine. And then I went back in with a little fork to also try and seal it up extra good, because I didn't want them to pop open when they're in the air fryer, because it does kind of like have the current inside of it is kind of strong, so if you have anything that's like lightweight, it will sometimes like blow around or open up. So I want to make sure that they didn't open up. So I just sealed them and then put my egg wash, and then with the size air fryer that I have, I cooked 3 pies at a time. I didn't want to overcrowd it, so I just put 3 in at a time, and they were perfect. I cooked them for 8 to 10 minutes on 350, and I think I did flip these over. No, I did not flip these over. I did not need to flip these over. I just kept an eye on them, and 8 to 10 minutes was perfect, and they were not undone or doughy or anything. Once all my pies were done, I just made a super simple powdered sugar and water icing. I took about, I would say it was probably 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, and then all in all about a teaspoon of water. You want to just add your water slowly so that you don't add too much, because it's really easy to add too much. But you want it to be a good consistency where it's not too runny, where it will run down the sides and won't coat your little pie. And you don't want it to be too thick either, so you just got to kind of play around with it. I've made enough icing in my life to know the consistency that will work. And so I just iced the top of these. I thought originally I would just try it without the icing, and let me tell you, it was 100 times better with the icing. Even though I'm trying to watch my sugar, it was so much better with the icing. That was literally what made it so good. So I know that they are not the most beautiful, perfect little pies, but these were really good. Marion loved them, Patrick loved them, and I loved them. I will definitely be making these again. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this gave you some ideas. I will probably do more of these in the future because I'm still learning and trying new things, and I'll figure out what I like and what is our favorite. So give us a video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.